there's always going to be times where you feel alone as a man, whether you're isolated from the pack or whether you're with the pack, but you're not, nobody's understanding what you want to do. Like there's a disconnect. Like you're with people, but you can still feel lonely when you're with people. And what I've noticed is that it's all about perspective when it comes to this and it comes to loneliness. So me personally, I've had a journey where I've had been away from people for a long time, especially from a young age. And for me, that's something that has helped me along later stages of my life, especially like with work when I coach and I work with high performers now. And a lot of high performers, they are isolated from the pack in one way because what they're doing, a lot of the people that they grew up with, a lot of people that they were around at a young age, they're not there with them no more because they've excelled to a level that a lot of people are not going to be able to reach. And you've got to recognize, depending on what you're doing, like whatever direction you want to go in, a lot of people are not going to want to go in that direction because it's for you, it's not for them. And because of that journey, there's going to be periods where you do feel lonely. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, cool, because you feel lonely, that it's a bad thing or, you're just finding, you're navigating through. So there's going to be periods where you do feel lost or you feel lonely, you feel like nobody understands you, I'm telling you this though, that there's always people that do understand and that you can connect with, but it takes time and it takes that willingness to go and get lost and then be find yourself again. And that's where it all comes down to. But I'm gonna be guided to it in further detail. Yeah, let's get into it. What's going on? My name is Christopher Daniels. Today, straight up and down, welcome to the Don't Stress, Don't Panic family. Here we're going to talk about like loneliness as a man. Like I'm telling you, there's always going to be periods where you feel lonely. You've probably experienced it before. If you haven't, there may be times that are going to come soon. And I'm telling you now, it's all about perspective. How you see it is very essential. You know what I'm saying to you? And I like I say that I never see it as a bad, and that's essentially like how I found myself by going my own way, by isolating myself. I remember at school, it wasn't really for me, but there was a lot of people there that I connected with, a lot of people that that was my people. You feel like within that space and within London. I remember moving out from away from London for a while, for 3 years. I think that's where I really began to like connect and find myself because all of the noise is gone now. Nobody knows me, and it's quiet when no one knows you. It's quiet when you go your own path. It's lonely, but when you're lonely, you're alone, and you get to connect and really understand yourself. You feel so. That's one thing for me that was very, very essential and is important. And it was an important part of my journey, my development, and how it's helped me, and an indication that it has helped is that again, I work with people, I work with high performers, I work with people that are within the mindset space as well as a coach. And I'll notice like constantly like people that are high performers, they go through this on a regular basis. Like they're on journeys, they don't understand how to do certain things. There's certain situations that they go in, there's patches where they feel lonely, there's a disconnect in certain things, and these feelings create certain responses or natural reactions within people, So it's like it's normal. Like say for example, if you're a high performer, you're away for a while, then you come back, and because you've been away for so long, when you do come back, you kind of like you lose all sense of structure that you had when you were in that other space, and you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do like so many different things because of that feeling, But once you learn and understand that what you're doing, like you're gonna have those lonely periods. When you understand that, it allows you to create a structure that works for you. You feel me? When it comes to loneliness, that's the most important thing that I believe is missing in a lot of people's journeys, and that's why they feel so isolated. It's creating that structure and knowing where you're going and knowing why you're doing what you're doing and where you want to get to. A lot of the times people are there, they're around you, but more times than 10, they probably don't want to go where you are going. So how do you create structure that will allow you to get to where you're going and feel comfortable. And that's one thing that I think changed everything for me. Yeah, personally, as an individual, I starting off, I used to think a lot, bit of an overthinker, and due to the fact that I am an overthinker, it was hard for me to navigate like just life in general, you know, and create systems and put things in place. I didn't even know the benefits of having a routine or putting things in place and systems in place, you know. One thing that did help me along my journey is having like being coached myself, like having coaches, going to structured environments, like doing martial arts, for example, that definitely helps a lot. Like doing things that you just like you're a part of. You see that everything, you notice and you learn that everything has a structure. Everything that works has structure. Everything that you see development in has structure. Some things don't have the best structure, but most things have good structure that work, you know. So say for example, like I talk about martial arts, you go in there, the class is running a certain way, you know, and it's at the same time, you know, always there's a foundation for the certain throws that you learn in judo. I'll use for an example. And you build on those foundations all the time. So you learn certain foundations, you learn how to do a few basic things, and then once you learn the basics, then you always build on those basics, you know. And that's what it comes to when you're on your journey, you know. You need a few things, you need to put structures in place. If there's no structure in place, it's going to be long. Like having a morning routine, for example, that's some structure, you know. If you're an entrepreneur, having a day where you start like your daily activities, as a weekly timetable, you know, having like your shopping organized, like you know when you're going to shop, or that you know when you're going to eat, or you know where, that having some sort of organization and structure, and these things will make the whole journey much more bearable. You get what I'm saying to you? And being alone and having that space, that use it as a time to connect with yourself, understand yourself, create structure for yourself, you know. Of course, like you can think about loneliness and think, oh, I'm alone, nobody cares, but nobody does care, and I don't think it's gonna change, you know. People do care, but at the same time, everybody's too busy doing their own thing to like fully commit to the fact that they do care. Even if they care a little bit, they don't care as much as you care. You get me? No one's gonna care as much as you care. So bear that in mind when you're thinking about like how to maneuver and how to get things done, you know? No one's gonna care as much as you care, and your life is valuable, bruv. So understand that and move like that. You know what I'm saying to you? Don't stress, don't panic. Just understand that your life is valuable, you know. Loneliness is not the end. Understand that, connect with that, and yeah, that is what it is. You feel what I'm saying to you? If you've enjoyed this video, make sure that you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the future videos. And other than that, I will be seeing you again very shortly. Yeah? Blessings.